Welcome to your favorite YouTube channel. Do not forget to like, comment, and click the red button below your screen to subscribe on Custom Reports TV.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Customs Image Maker speaks on the Controller General of Customs agenda. Also on Customs reports, Sokoto Command intercept goods worth billions of naira from smugglers. Plus more report. I am Igeseme Idinye. Stay tuned. Since the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service came on board, he has been preaching about welfare reform and revenue in the system. We saw the views of the image maker of the body, Deputy Controller of Customs, Wale Adeniyi, on the CG's agenda.
Talking about the 2016 projects of the Controller General of Customs, I would say we have to go back to the fundamental mandates that he has set for himself as established in the policy trust. He talked about reforms, he talks about restructuring, and of course it talks about the principal mandate, which is revenue. So I would say most of the projects that has been highlighted and discussed with his management revolved around realizing the objectives of this mandate. First, I'd like to talk about the commitment to existing projects. The most important one is the headquarter building. He has shown a lot of interest in this, and he has demonstrated commitment that this project must be brought into fruition. He's engaged a lot of stakeholders, in this direction, particularly the National Assembly, the Bureau of Public Procurement, and of course the contractors that are involved in this project to ensure that it is delivered in the course of the year 2016. Modernization projects is an ongoing thing, and there has been a lot of conversation between the CG and various stakeholders that are involved in realizing the modernization objective of the service, with particular reference to taking over from the Wefontaine contract, which was supposed to have expired end of December 2015, but which we had to extend by a year in view of the fact that there was no effective takeover plan. Now we are set forth in the new year to establish properly the machinery to put in place a takeover plan and to appoint consultants that will midwife the transition period, and then to ensure that we have a very good structure that will take over the job in 2016. So I would say all these are geared towards the establishment of a functional national single window, hopefully in the next 2 years. So all of these also speak to the fact that he has been working on a 2-year strategic plan of action. He has tasked all the departments to come up with what should constitute their plans for the 2 years, and he's called a meeting of all the management to deliberate on them, and we are about finalizing one draft which we hope to be the signpost and the guideline for the next 2 years. The plan for welfare in 2016, I would say the most important thing that should be mentioned in the welfare is about the remuneration for officers. The Controller General has not minced word in expressing his displeasure and dissatisfaction over the current rate of remuneration for officers and men of the customs. Before the National Assembly, before the Minister, talking to stakeholders, he has expressed that interest that we needed to review the take-home pay of customs officers and men. It needed to be at par with other agencies of government that are involved in revenue generation. And he has found a voice of support from the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, and from the National Assembly Committee, the Senate Committee and the House Committee on Customs. And we hope that in the course of the year, we'll be working together to realize a review, an upward review, I hope, for the remuneration and salaries for customs officers, so that there would be what the minister described as alignment of interest between the interest to safeguard customs revenue and the interests of the officers who have been employed to do this job. We have, in terms of revenue projection for 2016, our total projection is 903 billion. 903 billion naira. That is the projection for 2016. It's a very tough and Herculean task, one must say. From the review, from what we have seen in the first 2 years, in the first 2 months of the year, all the key indicators are actually going down. The level of importation, the volume of import, the cargo throughputs, the numbers of declarations in our ports, everything points towards the fact that it's not going to be an easy year. And we're already seeing indication that we would struggle with this target for some of the reasons which we have mentioned. Some of them are also not far-fetched. There are talks about the restriction of access placed on 41 items to get foreign exchange to import their goods. We're all aware of the current exchange rates, which is creating very serious problems for importation. So these are some of the issues. What the Comptroller General has done is to ensure that whatever things that come, all the governance issues are straightened out. Leakages should be adequately plugged. Corruption should be tackled. All to ensure that whatever is due to government would be collected. So this is the strategy, and as the year unfolds, we are going to be seeing how this will work. One other thing that the Comptroller General is working on is to look at the other side of imports, to concentrate on export and local production. For so many countries in the world, big revenue comes in from services and tax placed on locally manufactured goods. As we have it presently, there are only 2 or 3 items on the excise list. So there are discussions going on to widen our excise nets to ensure that we have more of these locally produced goods under excise control, so that we can generate a little bit of more from those activities. There are a number of other things, other products which were removed from control before, and they are now locally produced. Maybe we should keep their list for now until we get to an advanced stage of that discussion. There is also the concessions and waivers, duty waivers, which seems to characterize previous operations in the previous years. The Comptroller General has minced no words, to emphasize that the days of concessions that are not meaningful, that do not impact on the economy, are over. So for concessions to be honored, they have to be revalidated, and those that are not revalidated are not allowed. And of course, we also have understanding from the parent ministry, Ministry of Finance, that we are not just going to be having the kind of concessions that we're having in the days gone by. So if beneficiaries of all these concessions come forward and pay their revenue, we are optimistic that we are going to mitigate the effect of the economic crisis. Whether there's going to be retrenchment, the customs will not just retrench just for the purpose of retrenchment. What the Comptroller General has emphasized at every opportunity is that the service will no longer harbor corrupt officers. Officers who compromise their responsibilities, officers who abuse their office and their obligations will no longer be tolerated in the service. So this does not amount to retrenchment, I believe. This amounts to ensuring that only officers who are worthy of the uniform that we wear, who have the honor and integrity to remain in the service, will remain. So what this translates to is that if there are cases of corruption, established cases of corruptions against officers, established cases of collusions with importers and smugglers, established cases of compromise, some of these are being viewed very, very seriously, and sanctions, serious punitive sanctions, which may include dismissal from service, is being meted on some of these officers. A number of such cases have been brought up, and they are currently under investigation, and I believe that if these officers are found culpable, they will be shown the way out. There is a plan about recruitment. Of course, recruitment should be an ongoing activities in any organization, because you have to regenerate. People get to the peak of service after a period of time, 35 years. They will have to bow out, and as they bow out, you have to employ new sets of officers to replace them. So one of the things that the Comptroller General has done as part of this reform program is to take another look at the recruitment process, how we engage our staff, our talent hunt, and to say that we needed to put in place a process that attracts the best of the best, that attracts the best talent, and that gives equal opportunity to every Nigerian. So the modalities and the operational procedures are being spelled out, and at the appropriate time this will be made public, so that interested Nigerians could express their interest and apply to work with the customs.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Assistant Comptroller General of Customs in charge of Zone A has been speaking on the agenda of the Comptroller General of Customs. The ACG told the General Commanding Officer 81 Division of the Nigerian Army that the Custom is very pleased with the cordial relationship with the Army, while the GOC also thanks the ACG for his visit to his office, saying that the Army will continue to support Customs against smuggling activities within and outside the Nigerian border.
It's very, very normal for those of us in the defense and security sector, when we take over command, to visit each other, because we work synergistically for the defense and security of Nigeria. So the Assistant Comptroller General took over command early this year, and he has decided to visit me to appreciate the cordial relations between the two services and how we've been working together, and to solicit our support for the works we still have ahead of us. That is basically the reason for his visit. Of course, we work together. The things we do together, we don't put it most times in the public domain. We share a lot of intelligence on issues of terrorism and counter-terrorism efforts. We share intelligence on telling them these are what we are tracking, what is likely to come in through the ports. They also share intelligence with us. This is what we've seen, this is what is likely to come from the ports on to the land, and so we deploy the land forces. So always we work in synergy. I want to thank you again for this visit. This memento is a bit small, but at least to remind you of this visit, and to wish you a very successful tenure here in Zone A, and that as always we cooperate. So this is to remind you of this visit to them.
Thank you. GOC, I won't call this retaliation. Just appreciate your cordial relationship with us, Nigerian Army and Nigerian Customs Service. Like I said, when I came in, for us to know ourselves for the betterment of duty services in our country, and also to appreciate your support you've been giving to our boys in the land borders, Seme, Idiroko, Sen, Betty, Shaki. I want to appreciate you, and also to let you know what and what needs to be done so that military equipment can be cleared from the ports with ease. So, General, once again, thanks for the feedback. Thank
The
you.
area controller in charge of Sokoto Command has warned smugglers against the activities of smuggling in the country. The controller also said that the custom is ready to fight any smugglers to stand still. He also used the opportunity to appeal to would-be importers and agents to come forward and clear their consignment.
I have so far stayed here 2 months, and we have a profile of seizures that we have made within these 60 days. We have made a seizure of over 250 bags of rice, over 610 jerrycans of vegetable oil, popularly known as Ororo. We have seized vehicles that were used in conveyance of this Ororo and rice with a total paid value of 30 million naira. In addition to this, we have made seizures of over 100 bales of second-hand clothing with a total paid value of about 21 million naira. It is important here to mention to you the level of money or revenue or duty we have collected for the federal government of Nigeria. In January 2015, we were able to generate 91,268,519 for January 2015. For January 2016, we were able to generate 155,493,994 naira. It is important to note that the difference between the January of 2015 and that of 2016, we have more than 60 million naira difference here. An improvement over and above that of last year. February this year, we were able to generate 69,559,701 naira. February 2016, we were able to generate 146,786,666,000. A difference of about 48 million naira here have been generated over and above that of previous year. $68 million is the difference here. March 2015, we were able to collect 68,268,844 naira for 2015. As of today, which is 23rd of March, our revenue collected till yesterday, 22nd, we are able to generate 123 million naira 198, which shows that we have already doubled March last year. This is important to note that we have been on the trail of smugglers. We have made number of arrests and seizures. Cases are already undergoing investigations, and very soon we are going to prosecute some of them to law court. Customs Service in October 2015 has reviewed the restriction on importation of rice through the border stations nationwide. That lifting of ban generated a lot of revenue when it took off in October last year. By the end of the year, the smugglers have devised new means and they decided to keep smuggling the rice without payment of duty. As a result of that, the management of the Nigeria Customs Service, after due consultations and the various reports from the area commands, the management of the Nigeria Customs Service has reintroduced the ban on importation of rice through the border stations. From 12 midnight Friday, 25th of March 2016, importation of rice through the borderland nationwide is hereby suspended. Nobody is allowed to bring in rice through the border. If you bring it in, it is considered as prohibition and it will be seized. Those who import it will equally be arrested and prosecuted. The customs has given grace period from October till now for people to come forward and be paying duty. The revenue of the federal government of Nigeria continue to dwindle on the importation of rice. As a result of that, we, the customs, have decided now to place ban on the importation of rice through the border stations because the main importers do not bring the rice through the seaport. Import or duty payment through the borders before now was running into billions of naira every year. But as of now, we are not seeing that money, so that is why we reintroduced the restriction order through the border stations. If you look at what has happened in the National Assembly recently, during the budget defense of Customs, the Controller General of Customs was there live, and he was aired by the TV stations and radio stations that he was there and he defended our budget. In his welfare packages of the Customs, he has promised to improve the welfare packages of Customs, but you know he cannot do that without the National Assembly approving the budget. And after approval of the budget, then it will get the presidential assent. Once it gets to that, the Controller General of Customs, I'm assuring you, will roll out the welfare package of the Nigeria Customs Service. Matters are now still in the National Assembly, so nobody can tell you anything what will happen. Because until they pass it into law, then the president has ascended into law, then that is when we will now know what are the kind of package the Controller General of Customs will come up with. But one thing I'm assuring you is the Controller General of Customs has assured us that he is going to improve the welfare of Nigeria Customs Service. And we have a lot of vehicles being given to us by him, and we have deployed them to the field. And my officers, or our officers generally, are highly motivated. We are happy working, and we are doing what we are doing because we are motivated by the service. The TSA of the federal government of Nigeria is necessity for all. And in addition, I want you to understand the Nigeria Customs Service is already in TSA before the arrival of the TSA. Nigeria Customs Service, from day one, our money hit the CBN Federation account within seconds. If you make payment in customs, we don't have any commercial bank account where we collect customs duties, revenues, and fees prior to the arrival of TSA. All our collections and revenue generation go to the Central Bank of Nigeria within seconds. If you don't pay the money, if the money doesn't hit the account of the federal government of Nigeria, the processes of releasing goods will not take place because the connectivity of our computer nationwide has connectivity to commercial banks, and we have connectivity to the Central Bank of Nigeria. So there is no way customs will be affected by TSA. We are already in the TSA. The government invited every other person to be on board. We are there before the arrival of anybody.
Just before round up this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a special interview with the customs image maker on the agenda of the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service. For me, Egeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.